fans like giving their favorite artists a nickname: the Queen, the King of Pop, the Beyonce of Korea. They may not know it, but they're actually creating a brand proposition. Even better, they are copywriting. Companies pay advertising agencies and marketing agencies thousands to come up with such catchy nicknames. But people online, they throw it around like it's just a confetti. But what's even more interesting is the rationale behind these aliases. People unconsciously have this tendency to brand people. This is the process of cognitive simplification. Specifically, this is the halo effect, a cognitive bias where we assume that one prominent trait defines the entire person. By assigning a nickname based on that trait, we effectively label that person in a way that reinforces that perception. For instance, if someone is exceptionally kind, they might be nicknamed the angel, which reinforces the idea that their kindness is their defining feature, even if they have other complex traits. This is the same process used by marketers in developing a brand. We choose one outstanding trait to strengthen the perception or image we want the public to associate to the product or the celebrity. We identify their brand proposition, and that helps us identify the target market, which then guides us on how to say the message and what channels to use. This is how the archetypes of artists came about. In this video, I will focus on musicians. The concept of musician archetypes categorizes artists based on their dominant themes, personas, and messaging style. It's a framework that helps us understand how different musicians connect with their audience. And there are two components to this: the music, and that includes the lyrics, melodies, and beats, and even the genre. And of course, the packaging. The music is the main focus of their songs. And packaging has to do with their marketing strategy and the tactics on how they're introduced to the audience. While these two are different, they're actually connected. The music affects how an artist will be marketed. And of course, many artists actually evolve and expand. They sing about different things, they change their image, but almost always their discography or list of hits is still dominated by a specific theme. All that said, let's get to the list. Inspirational. These artists primarily share their personal stories of struggle, resilience, and redemption. Their music conveys messages of hope, empowerment, and self discovery, making them relatable and emotionally impactful. Note that they don't just talk about their victory, but most often, more prominently even, the journey to get to the top, which includes pain, struggles, failures, and others. When they do talk about their victories, it's not to parade their wealth or success, it's to show everyone what they can achieve despite the difficulties. Examples are J. Cole, one of his biggest hits, My Life, featuring 21 Savage and Moray, each reflect on the challenges they faced growing up in tough environments. The track highlights the cycle of violence and the struggle to escape a life of crime, while also celebrating the resilience that enabled them to rise above their circumstances. Le Seraphim is actually another one. The group's last album delves into overcoming self-doubt, the struggle to persevere in a competitive industry when almost everybody else around you is trying to put you down. Demi Lovato, she talked about the struggles of growing up in Hollywood, criticisms she faced over her body, and things that contributed to her drug use and how she got over it. Aspirational. These artists project a life of luxury, success, and untouchable coolness. They exude confidence, flaunt their achievements, and make fans aspire to live like them. This isn't arrogance, though. They emphasize the power they wield and the changes they can affect. They don't isolate people. On the contrary, they make it seem like anyone can be like them, or they already are, just in a different way. One great example is Beyonce. She is the queen of aspirational. From her poised stage presence to her luxury branding, she is the ultimate aspirational powerhouse. She's so high up in that position that I actually find it hard to pick anyone else that could be in the same league. Maybe Tate McRae. It seems that she's being packaged the same way, but her young career really makes it impossible to say whether or not she'll get there. She does lean into the glamorous yet approachable aesthetic. The outlaws, the rebels, and the rule breakers who thrive on controversy, shock value, and pushing boundaries. They disregard conventions, making waves with bold artistic choices. Most often, these artists are shocking sonically and visually. They push the boundaries of decency, to put it bluntly. Often, a social shift happens as a result of their rebellion. Madonna is one of the original rebellious children of Hollywood. Her song, Like a Virgin, shocked the holy hell out of Hollywood. Her fashion style confused every designer, and the hair in her armpit cost millions of heart attack. Tyler, the creator, is another rebel. Once a provocateur, he has since evolved into a critically acclaimed, genre defying artist. Novelty or comedic. Musicians who use humor or absurdity to entertain. They act as the court jesters of the music world, often poking fun at societal norms or industry cliches. A perfect example is Psy. His novelty hit Gangnam Style and succeeding releases like Gentleman used humor to catch the attention of the audience. And yes, it was very funny. The song was funny, the dance routine was funny, and the video was funny. Weird Al Yankovic, the master of parody, known for his comedic takes on popular songs. The flexer, or braggart. These artists are all about flaunting what they've got and reminding you that they're on top. They constantly boast about their achievements, wealth, or perceived superiority, often belittling others to elevate themselves. Their persona revolves around self aggrandizement and maintaining a facade of being the ultimate alpha, regardless of actual accomplishments. DJ Khaled. Almost every song is a declaration of his success, a victory lap of some sort. Blackpink. Their music often emphasizes dominance and wealth and how others can never match their swag. The Dreamweaver. These artists create immersive, fantastical worlds that transport listeners to another realm. They craft dreamlike cinematic experiences. They craft personas, projects, or artistic works that transport audiences to another world, offering a temporary escape from reality. They create immersive experiences, whether through fantastical musicals, surreal visuals, cinematic universes, or larger than life personas, allowing fans to disconnect from everyday life and enter a dreamlike state. Bjork constructs entire sonic universes, inviting listeners to escape into her otherworldly narratives. And of course, there's Isle It. They blend fantastical sounds with ethereal visuals and soft lyrics to evoke a hazy, dreamlike state. The Storytellers. These musicians are lyrical novelists, painting vivid scenes with their words, often narrating character driven tales. Their songs and music videos are packed with characters, settings, and emotional arcs that draw listeners in like a captivating book. Bruce Springsteen is actually a king of this. His songs, like The River, tell deeply personal yet universally relatable stories. In Asia, there's IU. She weaves stories of love, loss, and self reflection into her poignant lyrics. The Heartstring strummer. Artists who tap into everyday experiences and tender emotions, making their music feel like a comforting, familiar hug. They specialize in heartfelt, tender songs about love, heartbreak, and the everyday moments that connect us all. They feel and sound very, very familiar. The girl or guy next door who sings the universal soundtrack to our lives. They are very relatable. They feel like they could be your friend. and that they know your life or your emotions and they articulate it for you. Ed Sheeran sings about love, loss, and life's simple joys in heartfelt ballads. And of course, Taylor Swift. Her songs feel like personal letters, drawing on real life heartbreak and emotional turmoil. The mysterious loner. They emphasize being alone. They shun the world and they are very, very comfortable in their loneliness. They make it sound and feel like the world is better without them or that they are better without the world. They are elusive, enigmatic, and almost mythical. They keep the world guessing and they let their art speak louder than their public persona. Frank Ocean is a perfect example. He releases music sporadically, maintaining a ghost like presence. Hosier is also another one. His songs are imbued with poetic, almost spiritual lyricism that delves into themes of existential longing, love, and the human condition, creating a sense of emotional isolation. And last, the activist. These are artists who use their music as a platform for social, political, or environmental change, turning art into a call to action. Bob Marley advocated for peace, love, and Rastafarianism. Rage Against the Machine epitomizes the activist archetype, using their incendiary blend of rap, rock, and metal as a megaphone for political and social dissent. Their music is a rallying cry against systematic injustice, corporate greed, and government corruption, fusing raw, aggressive soundscapes with scathing political charged lyrics. And then there are meta artists beyond the archetypes. Meta artists are those who transcend a single archetype, evolving across multiple categories. But it's not just the message or the genre. They actually are a transformative force in the industry, reshaping music, culture, and even society. They cause a cultural or social shift. And they also transcend the music industry itself. They affect other industries and other aspects of society's daily lives. One example is Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson actually started as a storyteller, from Billie Jeans to Thriller to Smooth Criminal. He was the master of hooking people to follow a story. In fact, it was his storytelling skill that changed music videos and performances forever. And that's another sign of a real meta artist. In fact, it could be the most objective test on whether or not someone is a meta artist or just a great one. You have to be able to identify a material change they caused. And that change has to be substantial. It isn't just about being the first act to have all group members sport a black hair or become brand ambassadors even before they debut. The change they caused has to affect the global music industry or even the society for the better. Michael Jackson did just that. He revolutionized music videos and live performances by treating live performances like a theater performance. There is a narrative, a story that unfolds. In other words, he changed the consumption of pop music and pop art. He introduced revolutionary routines and movements to the mainstream, like the moonwalk. He may not have actually created these routines, but being a meta is not just about being the first. It's about affecting the change globally. Beatles is another example. They practically pioneered music videos, pushed singer-songwriters in the mainstream, and essentially started the boy band and fandom culture. And this is a model that has been adopted by different pop industries around the world, including K-pop. BTS is another meta. They essentially redesigned how music is to be consumed. It isn't just a sonic and visual experience, not just songs and music videos. It's also a cerebral experience as they fused music with different art forms to create a bigger narrative that is meant not just to be heard, but experienced and interpreted. Music is still an integral part, but is still a part of a bigger whole. That's the future of music and music consumption. It isn't just something you listen to or watch in music videos, it's something people will experience and even live by discovering the bigger narratives scattered through different art forms, including books, films, physical events. And yes, they are way ahead of their time. So, who are your meta artists? I encourage you to make a list, but don't make it in haste. Consider the criteria. They have to have caused a global change for the better. Remember, it isn't about being the first, it's about being the one that caused a ripple effect throughout the industry globally and beyond it. Also, know that while we can try to be objective by answering what is the material change they caused, at the end of the day, it is subjective because art and life are both subjective. I really can't begin to even describe how much BTS has changed the global music industry. They essentially changed the essence of music. It isn't just about beats and lyrics and melodies anymore. It's a multi layered, immersive experience that fuses different media and art forms in order to create an epic interconnected narratives. They've built entire universes where you are invited to not just hear but also feel and think and love and cry and live within the story, and then take whatever lesson and experience you had there so that you can live it outside of the story. They've introduced the future of music consumption, I think it's a world where music isn't just heard, it's actually experienced across timelines, worlds, and characters that actually evolve long after the sound is gone. And I know that a lot of people are still struggling to understand fully what they have done, how they have affected and revolutionized music and art in general, pop art. Um, but I think in 5, 10 years, people are just going to live it. This archetype of musicians, this just goes to show how diverse and how powerful music can be, and how powerful art can be. From Dreamweavers that actually create different universes, and to activists that use their platform in order to affect change. I think BTS has demonstrated that the diversity of the messages that different artists can deliver isn't just confined in music itself and art itself, but it can actually affect our lives. The one thing, though, that I just want to remind everybody is that we're not always going to agree on everything. For example, if you create your list of 10 meta artists, my list will probably be different from yours. As I've mentioned, there is some sort of an objective guide, but you can only follow it to a certain extent. At the end of the day, what I hope this video will achieve is to get us together to think critically and analyze the impact of our favorite artists and other artists, even the ones that we don't necessarily stand. What I hope to happen is for us to sit down and hear other people why their list is different from ours, and for them to hear us as well, defending and explaining why we ended up with the list that we have. So I encourage everybody to come up with your meta 10 or 5 or 6. But I hope that through this, we will be able to sort of appreciate better the impact of the musicians that we admire. So let me know. Let me know in the comment section below who are your meta 10 or 5 or whatever. And also let me know which archetype speaks to you the most. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. If you ended up liking this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification button. And share the video if you can, because that's really helping my channel. If you have any suggestions, comments, if there's any topic you want me to cover, just let me know. Also, follow me on IG and on X, but more importantly, follow me on Patreon. It's a vibrant community. We have a lot of fun there. We're not just talking about BTS, we're talking about music, movies, And sometimes we just joke around. And there is a fee tier just in case you want to give it a try first. Thank you so much. I'll see you around.